At Charity Charge, our mission is to power yours. Most banks and financial service providers weren't built for nonprofits. They don't understand your structure or how you operate. That's why we exist. We proudly serve more than 3,000 organizations across the U.S., offering tools built exclusively for the sector. From credit cards and expense management to bookkeeping and gift cards, every solution is designed to help you minimize operations and supercharge your impact. And we're more than just financial services. We're an educational community. We share resources every day on our podcast, blog, and webinars to help you stay informed, compliant, and empowered. Visit charitycharge.com to learn more and join the community. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Nonprofit Spotlight series hosted by Charity Charge. This is Grayson Harris, and today we are absolutely pleased to be joined by Jenny Hill. She is the CEO of Girl Scouts of Central and Southern New Jersey. Jenny, thank you so much for coming on today.
Sure, Grayson. Thanks for having me.
And can you tell me a little bit more about, the Girl Scouts is a pretty well-known brand, right, across the U.S., but what specifically is the kind of Girl Scouts of Central and Northern New Jersey doing?
Yeah. So the mission of Girl Scouts is to build courage, confidence, and character who make the world a better place. And in Central and Southern New Jersey, like all our communities across the country, we do all kinds of programs and activities, and we have so many opportunities for girls to really figure out what does that mean for them. So the sort of wonderful thing about Girl Scouting is it doesn't stay stagnant.
Mm.
We have historic programs like earning a Girl Scout badge, right? So all Girl Scouts, going back, I don't know how far, but certainly I did as a Girl Scout earn badges, right? Girl Scouts earn badges. But what they're earning badges about and the topics are changing always and contemporary. So as one example, something we did recently that was really fun, we have an airport in our footprint in Atlantic City, New Jersey. And we had an aviation program a few weeks ago where the Girl Scouts got to come to the airport, get a behind the scenes tour, learn about the mechanics of an airplane, learn about what it's like to fly an airplane. And I heard really, really great reviews that the girls had a great time. The adults loved it too.
That is awesome. That collaboration, I'm sure, is a big opportunity, especially whenever you have kind of that vehicle of the Girl Scout badge. Can you tell a little bit
Yeah,
more for
for
myself
sure.
and the audience in terms of, I think a lot of people understand like kind of the Girl Scout troops. Is that how y'all call them? The kind of the structure
Yeah,
of that.
sure.
What
So there,
what is the relationship kind of between that and
what
then
is
like
that?
Girl Scouts of Central and Southern New Jersey?
Sure. So the way that we're organized is there's Girl Scouts of the United States of America, GSUSA, and they are our national organization and they really set the tone, handle things, anything that we would do as an organization that would be national in scope. And then the country's divided into 111, we call them council regions. So that's my role. I'm a regional executive in Central and Southern New Jersey. And then within my area, we have our geography divided up into areas. We call them service units in Central and Southern New Jersey. They're called different things in different parts of the country. And those areas are really where the volunteers come in. We have over 10,000 volunteers in my organization that really are the heartbeat of Girl Scouting. They're what makes Girl Scouting run. So my professional staff is small but mighty, and we support those volunteers, make sure they have what they need, that they have contacts and connections locally. And then when families sign their daughters up to be Girl Scouts, they can either join a Girl Scout troop, which maybe is in their school or their church community. Maybe it's just a random bunch of girls who live in that zip code who want to be Girl Scouts and they make all new friends, which is really terrific. Or if that's not a model that's workable, parents have the option to sign their daughters up individually. And we call those Girl Scouts our Juliets, and they can do everything that Girl Scouts and troops can do, but they just do it individually with the support of a parent.
Okay, thank you so much for kind of helping explain that. And then I guess the other core component that, are so recognized is that cookie. Can you explain a little bit more whenever
Yes.
you're looking at your kind of strategic kind of, vision and plan, how that fits in, especially as you kind of navigate donor relationships and kind of garnering support within the community?
Yeah, well, I think it starts with what you said a few minutes ago, which is Girl Scouting has a very recognizable brand, right? So people know of Girl Scouts. They know of us a lot because of the Girl Scout cookie, because the Girl Scout cookie as its own brand is really strong. It's actually the third strongest brand, cookie brand in the country, believe it or not. So that's how recognizable we are. And that really is wind beneath the sails of the Girl Scout mission and program. And the Girl Scout cookie was originally designed and conceived when it first launched back, I think it was around the 1930s, to be a financial mechanism for the girls so that they could do something that they could do, earn money, and then have that money to invest in activities connected to their Girl Scout experience. And that still continues today. The all 100% of the money from the Girl Scout cookie program stays local, and the Girl Scout troops earn a percentage where they can use for their Girl Scout activities. What most people don't see, though, is what's behind that for the Girl Scouts. And it's a massive undertaking that really has a programmatic dimension where girls learn money skills, they learn confidence building, how to approach a customer. They have the opportunity to build online e-commerce storefronts and sell digitally, so they learn about marketing, a little bit about technology, and all of that then helps to fuel their learning as well as the financial aspect. And to your point, we do count on partners. We have a lot of businesses that sponsor Girl Scouts to be in front or inside their business during the sale to sell cookies. We have companies that will do cookie booth buyouts where they will go visit a Girl Scout troop and buy out all their inventory and then use that for customer gifts or employee gifts. And then certainly at the national level, there are lots of partners that the national office works with for marketing or distribution, and certainly our two Baker partners that we work with to make everything happen. So it's a large enterprise, and it has the real added benefit to us of having both some financial benefits as well as a real learning opportunity for Girl Scouts. Whenever I meet women that are entrepreneurs or running businesses, and they'll say to me, "Oh, I was a Girl Scout, or I was a brownie." And I'll say, "Did you participate in the cookie program?" And they'll kind of pause for a minute and then they'll say, "I did. And I bet that's where I first learned how to sell." Like, yes, it is. You probably did, right? As did I.
That's amazing. I really appreciate you kind of explaining what all goes into it. If you had to describe, what would you say is the biggest misunderstanding about from the kind of the public perspective on the kind of cookie program and what that role plays for your organization?
Yeah, so there are so first off, I think it's important to put it in a little bit of context, right? So we are a nonprofit 1C3 organization. So it is not a fully commercialized business, right? So the while we do focus on the financials, it isn't something that earns a tremendous profit. We do have to buy the product, and then work on the logistics. I think some of the misunderstandings are that people do think it's just about the money. They don't know that it actually is a program and that girls are learning all those things. We just recently, I think it's actually this Sunday, we are having our signature program. It's called Cookie College, and it's where the youngest Girl Scouts or the first time sellers come and learn some of those fundamental skills. They learn about setting up their digital storefront or marketing. So I think it's really that is that it is programmatic. It is not, there are a lot of nonprofits that sell candy or sell wrapping paper, and we do that too. We do that in the fall. That's our fall sale that happens in October. But this is really programmatic in nature, and it is helping girls to build skills in business and entrepreneurship.
I love that, and it's incredible. Can you speak a little bit more to you mentioned that incredible story about the badge, and that local partnership with the airport. Is there any other story like that in terms of, partnerships within your local community that really kind of, struck a chord with you?
Sure. I mean, one of the other ones that pops into my head is we did a program several years ago with New Jersey American Water, which is the local affiliate of American Water, which is one of our major utilities in the country. And American Water has an amazing story to tell about how water purification happens. what happens from when the water comes from the dam all the way to when it gets to your bathtub, right? And we took the girls through an exhibit that they have built. It was fascinating. They had great questions. And gosh, we could talk for hours about all the different kinds of partnerships, because one of the things that we really focus on is, we know in each community around the country, and certainly in central and southern New Jersey, there are unique things that we perhaps can get access to share with our Girl Scouts and their learning opportunities. And so that's what we're really focused on doing, is figuring out what those local things are and getting the word out that we're absolutely open to partnerships. We've done another thing that's really popular is we do a sleepover at the New Jersey Camden Aquarium. And
Oh, that's so
again, it
cool.
comes with all sorts of educational learnings, but then, I often think about that and think, darn, I never got an opportunity to do that when I was a kid, but that sounds like fun, right? Just spend the night surrounded by the sharks and the dolphins and what all, kinds of sea creatures they have there. So really, really fun, different things like that.
Thank you for sharing those stories. And we've been talking a little bit about some of the challenges, right, that come from running a nonprofit. One of those truly is that kind of that talent aspect, right, of running the organization, that small and mighty team, as you kind of framed it. Can you tell me a little bit more
Yes.
about what your thoughts in terms of building and retaining talent within your organization looks like as you compete, with businesses that maybe are able to kind of compensate a little bit more?
Yeah. Well, I shared with you earlier, I've been a nonprofit executive for more than 25 years, both at another organization and now about 14 years with Girl Scouting. And one of the things that I have seen change over that time period is when I came into the nonprofit sector, there was a real competitive advantage that we had in attracting and retaining talent, because I really truly believe that the nonprofit sector was the place where work-life balance and how you treat employees so they can have work-life balance really was born, right? Because we have never been able to compete from a compensation, from a salary perspective, right? You don't typically, in most nonprofits, you're not eligible for bonuses or incentive compensation, right? And because we depend as a sector so heavily on the generosity of donors, that can go up and down depending on the economy and a lot of other factors. And so we always were able to compete on holiday time and vacation time and, go home, take a half day, you need a break, and all this sort of tools in that kit. And corporate America got wise. And so now that's somewhat of a commodity. People expect it. Young talent especially expects it. And so it's become harder for us really to compete and retain talent, right? And especially for us in a place like New Jersey, which is a little bit more, the cost of living is a little bit more expensive than it is in other parts of the country. It just makes the budget tight. So we try to do all that we can, try to leverage part-time employees to supplement our full-time folks and to be as competitive as we can be with the compensation and benefits we offer to our staff. But it is not always easy.
100%. And something that I thought was maybe interesting is because y'all have so much experience within the Girl Scouts of kind of building talent within the Girl Scouts themselves, with the badges and these programs. Have you seen any of that translate in terms of staff programs and kind of building up their pool? That way, you're kind of able to internally kind of build the skill set of the organization.
Yeah, well, one of the things that we envisioned doing for a long time, it got a little waylaid coming out of the pandemic, but we've actually been doing for a couple of years now, is we run our own internal leadership development and coaching program. And I wouldn't say it's built on the badge program per se, but we do throw in some Girl Scouty type activities like we would do with the girls for the employees that participate in that program. And the crux of it really does match the mission. In a Girl Scout troop, girls really benefit from the mentorship and coaching and counsel of the volunteers that run that troop, especially their troop leaders. We have done studies just recently, did a study where we studied all of New Jersey girls, and we learned that a lot of girls in New Jersey don't really have a trusted adult advisor outside of their parents. Very high percentage. And especially in school, they're not really sure who they can trust. They don't really trust a teacher or a counselor. But over 90% of Girl Scouts say they, really trust their troop leader. They know their troop leader has their best interests at heart. So when we created this program for our employees, we built it on the same principles. So they're working. I'm actually leading that program with an outside partner. And in addition to the two of us, every participant also gets an outside mentor that we sort of individually curate a relationship for them so that they can also feel supported, right? Because sometimes it's hard to talk to your direct boss about things, right? And we want our employees to be comfortable and know they have people they can bounce ideas around with, similar to what we want in a Girl Scout experience for our girls.
Thank you for that. And yeah,
Mhm.
I'm sure there's overlaps in terms of those learnings, right? And running those programs.
Oh, sure.
And I thought that was maybe a really interesting point there. Well, as we come to the end of the conversation, what does the end of the year look like for y'all, and how does 2026 shaping up for the Girl Scouts of Central and Southern New Jersey?
Yeah, well, we're recording this the day after Giving Tuesday, so I'm not sure when it's gonna air, but, for me, I got up this morning and I thought, "Okay, this is the season of giving. I wanna see, kinda how we did yesterday." There are a lot of our donors, our generous supporters, that this is that time of year that they make their charitable gifts. So that's really a core focus for us between now and the end of the holidays. We count so much on that generosity. It's not the lion's share of the Girl Scout budget, but it is an important component, and it does help us help scholarship girls who can't afford to participate. So it'll be that, and then it'll be gearing up for the Girl Scout cookie sale, which starts bright and early in January when we come back in the new year.
Okay, well, that's so exciting. And how can our audience get involved with yourself and the organization?
Well, the easiest way is to go to girlscouts.org. From there, there's an interactive map where wherever you are in whatever part of the country, you can go into that and find your local Girl Scout council who would love to have you, whether you're interested in signing up a young girl in your life. Our members are kindergarten through 12th grade, and you can join at any time. You don't have to start when you're in a or if you're maybe a Girl Scout alum looking to connect with us and give back, we'd love to hear from you. So that's the easiest way, would be girlscouts.org.
Okay, well, Jenny, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing the incredible work that y'all are doing for your community and the girls of Central and Southern New Jersey.
Thank you, Grayson. It's been great chatting with you.